Okay, it is still day one at the Aircraft Interiors Expo in Hamburg, and ABN is here talking to a whole range of exhibitors. Next up we have Rosen Aviation, and Justin Watson joins me. He's the head of customer success at Rosen. Justin, welcome.
Lee, good to see you again.
We met you last year at this very show.
Yes.
It's not quite a year because the show came forward a few months, but nearly a year. It feels like a year.
Those 2 months were missed in the space between, because it's amazing how quickly it creeps back up on you and it's time to build again.
It is. It's not coming around very, very quickly. But and actually, what's changed for you is you've got a much bigger stand. And obviously wanted to invest a lot more in this show. So tell us a bit about the background to the stand and the size and scale and the investment you've put into being here this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So last year was our first time exhibiting at the Aircraft Interiors show. And it was, by all accounts, a smashing success.
Yeah.
A lot of great networks, new contacts, introduction to essentially a whole new market. So we wanted to carry on with that momentum and move into a bigger space, more prominent space. And also, I think at the end of the day, your booth should reflect your identity as a company.
Yeah.
So we put a lot of time and collaborative effort into designing this, something that we think is very, categorically Rosen in how it looks and feels. So
it's debuting today.
Yep.
In fact.
Yep.
So last year, you've got a number of things on the stand that were here last year. Around the corner there is an incredible immersive seat with a surround sound, surround vision experience. We'll talk about that in a minute. You've iterated that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then I think behind me you've got the sky. What do you call it? The skylight.
The Xterra digital skylight.
Okay, which is again an amazing experience in cabin, taking it to a whole new level. But we'll start off with your big announcement.
Yes.
And it's a significant one. So
yes.
I'll let you explain what's the big announcement today that you've made.
Yeah, very much. Thank you. So this year we're excited to launch our new flagship, which is the Celestia cabin management system.
Right.
So for 40 years, Rosen's been a technology component and technology supplier. And a little bit of backstory, I guess.
Yeah.
In 2020, we were awarded the Ariane Supersonic Business Jet CMS award and started architecting that system. Obviously, we know that Ariane didn't make it, but we had still done some work designing a system up to that point.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple years, and we're working very closely with a customer that ended up becoming a partner, which was a private VIP fleet operator. And turns out they have a system that they designed from an operator's perspective specifically for their fleet.
Right.
And turns out that architecture was almost exactly what we were architecting and fit all the criteria for what we needed in a system.
Yeah.
So we went to the table and said, we envision a partnership where we can leverage our synergistic qualities as partners and introduce this system to the wider market.
Okay.
And so from that, Celestia was born, and now this proven, ultra reliable cabin management system is now part of the Rosen umbrella.
Okay.
So we can do greater global support. We can help with manufacturing, and I think one of the biggest keys also is that we're going to, iterate and evolve together over time.
Yeah.
This system has been flying across several aircraft since 2007.
Right.
So thousands and thousands of flight hours.
In use, it's out there. It's being used today.
Yep. Certified.
It's now called Celestial.
Yep.
That's the new sort of feel and look and feel and that's how. That's the new branding for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And just a few things about what does it do? It manages everything within a cabin of an aircraft. So
Yep.
that covers everything from what. Go on.
Yeah. So I mentioned in the story that it was designed by an operator from the operator's perspective, and that's very important because this particular operator, flies the most high-profile VIP customers all over the world and sees firsthand how they interact with their aircraft, some of the problems and challenges that they face, and designed this system around that knowledge.
Yeah.
And so it's very reliable, very scalable. It's a distributed Ethernet network, essentially. So there's a lot of plug-and-play elements to it. The user interface is entirely customizable, so every single owner-operator can have their own unique user interface designed specifically to their needs.
Right.
4K video distribution, obviously, since we're leaders in 4K video displays, and a whole host of other interesting little tidbits. One that we like to share a lot is we can do multi-language support.
Right.
So if you have a handful of people watching a movie and they all speak different languages, you can, at your seat, select the language that you want to hear the movie in. So I'm listening to it in English, you can be listening to it in German or Japanese or whatever it may be. So a lot of really cool, very focused, detailed passenger experience functions built into it.
Yeah, and obviously you're talking to a lot of other now operators for this system. Did you feel there was a need for a system like this in the market? There was a lack of this kind of thing, was there? So there was a definite space to move into?
I couldn't have asked a better question, to be honest. We saw a significant space, we'll call it, in the market for a credible alternative. Someone like us and our partners that have been in this space for a long time, we're experts in what we do, and we think that we can offer, because at the end of the day, that's really one of our biggest goals, is to offer a wide range of solutions to work with other entities in the industry, so that customers have more choices and can create their own differentiated experience. Whether it's commercial airlines, they're obviously competing against each other and they want to create that experience that is theirs. So when you fly X airline, whatever it is, it has a unique feel to the journey that makes you want to come back.
So the system was built with the private fleet in mind, but potentially it's got uses across aviation. I mean, it could go commercial as well.
We've already actually done some proposals for high density commercial like aircraft. I did mention it's very scalable, so that's something that we can certainly support. And we talked a bit last year about how Rosen has been a business aviation, VIP aviation expert for a long time, and we think that we know the premium experience better than most airlines do. And airlines subsequently are also trying to increase the depth and breadth of the premium experiences that they offer on their aircraft in super first class, business, even economy plus. And so we think we're the perfect partner to bring in, to not even compete against your IFE CMS supplier, but to augment and enhance whoever it is that you work with.
There is a general trend actually, even at the sort of the lower end, to make things better. I mean, everything's becoming more premium. You can see it in some of the low cost guys. So things don't necessarily, they do all get better. You look at things outside of aviation. Look at the car you drive today and how much better it was than what we grew up with. In the 80s, if a car had electric windows, you were amazed. So actually, that is a general trend which probably speaks to what you're doing. This isn't just about a premium experience. This can be general use.
It's a trend across all markets. I was actually just going to say the same thing, and so. Again, that's just why we think we know that experience very well. Obviously, we're an aviation certification expert, design supplier, and so we have all the tools to bring those into, again, customers and even other organizations that do some similar stuff that we can help just make them better.
Sure. So we mentioned the other things on stand. Around the corner there is the seat. It's got this amazing curve to it, and there's got a curved screen in front of it. You said you've iterated that in the last 12 months, 10 months or so. So what's new on there?
So that's the Immersa Audiosphere. And again, just kind of a little recap, harnessing the power of raw sound mechanics to create a really immersive audiosphere that creates a personalized experience for you while you're watching a movie that recreates tone, timbre, depth, spatiality, all the things that essentially make a high-resolution audio experience to match a high-resolution video experience. And so in the past 10 months, we've made some refinements just to the overall quality, and we've also introduced the haptic drivers in the seat in place of subwoofers. So you get a stronger bass sensation, and you actually really feel the rumbles and explosions or whatever it is. But since they're haptic drivers instead of subwoofers, it's not something that carries throughout the cabin. It's very localized to your seat and to your movie or music or whatever it is you're listening to.
Okay. And you got customers for this? Is this now?
Yeah. Yes, we have customers from a couple different directions too. We have VIP completion centers that are looking to offer high density sort of entourage seating, and then we also have commercial seat suppliers, from the biggest well-known names to some of the startups or some of the more niche suppliers for seats, and they're looking to, again, just talking about sort of gaps in the market. As aircraft are becoming quieter, there is a very real opportunity and space for an audio experience that's more similar, again, going to other industries like you would have in a car. We're not limited to this sort of 8-track level quality that exists now, or the little flimsy headphones they hand out. You can have something that's audiophile quality when it comes to audio. You mentioned premiumization being a trend across other industries, and I think in this industry specifically, there is a trend towards the audio experience. It's something that's been neglected, both because the aircraft were too loud, but also the technology just didn't support anything better anyway. And of course, Bluetooth noise canceling headphones are great. No qualms with that, but we think this headphone-less solution offers a lot of really unique benefits that the other solutions can't provide.
And the other innovations that you've got on stand today?
Yeah, so we have sort of high density IFE displays. I think we demonstrated the 16-inch last year. We also have a 22 and a 42, remote electronics, carbon composite chassis, so super incredibly lightweight, sleek, powered by our next generation electronic set. We also came out with a new configuration for the digital skylights that we debuted last year. And the big difference with that is we went to a 1x3 configuration, so kind of a long, ultra-wide configuration. And the challenge with that is our cameras, our phones, what we watch on TV, that's all your traditional 16:9 aspect ratio, so the length and the width. And getting content other than 16:9 is pretty difficult. There's a small amount of 21:9 content in gaming, there's 32:9, but in this configuration it's actually 48:9.
Okay.
So we had to go and we partnered with Kip Creating. They did our Maverick project concept a few years back. It was kind of industry renowned, and we had them do custom rendered content of a handful of different scenes and environments in 4K. So now each display is showing HDR 4K tiled together in one continuous overhead scene. Okay. Then I think we even maybe talked about it last year, but the value of something like a digital skylight is really an ambiance enhancer. Most passengers aren't likely to be sat back staring up at it for 4+ hours, but it just changes the openness of the cabin, the feel of the cabin. And so with rendered content, since we have this very unique creative solution overhead, we can now also do unique creative content that better matches it. So you have clouds going by, balloons, whatever it is really you want. We can tie into circadian rhythms to help you adapt to the climate that you're flying to. Just kind of all these added benefits.
Do you think what we're seeing there, is it's hard to predict the future because so much can change, and you wouldn't have predicted so many things that we do today take for granted. That sort of thing, you think that 20 years time we'll look back and go, of course all aircraft have digital skylights. I mean, it's just accepted these days, and that's obvious.
I would say I'm biased.
You would say that,
certainly,
I'm sure.
Certainly, I think that's where we're headed.
There are things like that that are going to happen. I mean, everyone's going to pick and choose the winners, and maybe that's the case. It'll just be something that's accepted. You saw it here first.
Yep. If I was going to predict the future, I would say once the first handful of launch customers debut it, and it's more out in the public domain, it's going to be a floodgate where everyone has to have one, whether it's business, VIP, commercial, whatever the configuration is that fits their need. It's going to be very common. I know other OEMs, designers, they've done similar things. So talking about trends, that trend has been growing for some time, and now we have a technology-based solution that achieves it better than any of the previous ideas that have been conjured up.
Yeah.
So yeah, genuinely believe it'll be 0 to 100 really fast.
Yeah. It's certainly, I mean, it's first day here, but since people are talking a lot about passenger experience, we had the passenger experience conference yesterday.
Yeah, our own Lee Clark actually was on the panel.
Was he? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't catch that one, but it seems to be a theme that the technology is now allowing that experience to be really enhanced, and the airlines are desperate to do this now. So that's what speeds up change, isn't it? When there's the technology is available, A, and B, the customers want it.
Yes.
You know.
Well, anymore, with consumer technologies being such a driving force, it's really impossible to expect passengers to go from these highly integrated, highly connected environments in their home, their car, their office, wherever it may be, and then get on a plane and be locked in, reading a magazine.
Go back to the 80s.
Exactly. So it's only right that they're demanding a better experience. And like anything, it can take some time, but the trend is obviously moving in that direction, exactly like you just said. The Passenger Experience Conference, there's a lot more buzz around that very specific area of the airline industry. So we're excited to see that trend, and we're excited, most importantly, to be a part of that trend.
Yeah. Our time's nearly up, but it's been interesting to get a catch up with you. Anything else that we should look out for with Rosen? What's coming up?
No,
in 12 months' time, what are we talking about?
I think that's good for now.
Yeah.
We'll just have to make sure that you guys come back by in 12 months, and then I'll share the latest updates with you then.
We sure will. Okay.
Sure.
That's great. Thank you, Justin. Good to see you again.
Yep, you as well.
See you soon.